Hi, and thanks for joining Productive Agent Podcast. Today we have a special guest, Lewis Weaver. Lewis and I have become pretty good friends over the years. We've met, and we just know each other for a while. So Lewis, he's been in real estate now 18 years, right? He's consistently in the Northern Wasatch top 250, the Salt Lake Board top 500. Closes consistently 45 to 50 transactions a year for the last several years. And so today we're just going to have a conversation about how he got started, what he does, and if he had to do it over, what would he do different? So welcome, Lewis. Say
Yeah,
hi.
yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate the introduction and being here. Anytime that you have time for me, I love to chat.
Oh, the honor's mine. I mean, I get to. I'll tell you, a podcast is, I get to hang out with cool people. It really.
Yeah,
I mean, I get to say, "Hey, you want to be on a podcast? Yeah, let's chat. Let's hang
yeah.
out."
It,
I
it
mean,
builds those quality conversations, right? And your whole
yeah,
business, everything's built off relationships and quality conversations for sure.
exactly. Yep. So pretty much everybody I've had on my podcast is somebody I really know. And then we just, have these kind of meetings and that's it.
Yeah, that's perfect. I think there's a lot of value to that. I've learned more in my career from sitting in rooms listening to people talk than I have from a formal education.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. Where it's on Facebook, when it says, degree, mine says, when I need a degree, I hire them, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
100%. That's the way to go.
you
Who,
know,
not how, right?
yeah, exactly. So you've been in real estate 18 years. So tell us how you got started in real estate.
Sure. So, um, I was a kid that, to kind of give you just a quick backstory, I wasn't supposed to make it. I had open heart surgery at 14 days old.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was pretty crazy. Less than a 5% chance of living. My parents didn't really, they actually, I mean, they're hoping and praying that I live,
Sure.
but they didn't expect it to happen. And so when I did live, it was really careful. Like, you got to watch Lewis. He might not live long. Got to be, you've got to not let him play sports. He can't be too aggressive at recess, all these things. And I grew up in a way, my parents were supportive, but teachers and people that were worried about being sued always were telling me no. Like, hey, well, can't do that, can't do this. And then one day I got so frustrated that I told my parents at a very young age that I'm just going to play so hard it kills me, because if I'm on earth for a limited amount of time, I'm going to have some fun. So
Right.
just understand that's who I am. That's where I've come from. And now it's so funny. The doctors say, "Oh man, it's so good you pushed yourself. It's so good you did all this stuff." But at the time, they're like, "Don't do that," you
Right.
know. And
Well, that's because of the legal aspect.
yeah, and legal aspect of it, like, wow, you're an interesting study. You're kind of an anomaly. So fast forward, I've had 4 open heart surgeries, almost died a few times. I'm blessed to be here. So I have a belief that every day is a little bit borrowed, and I'm going to do the best I can with it. And I'm going to really enjoy this life, and I'm going to plan for the future, but I'm going to enjoy today. So that's, with knowing that about me, it leads into what I got into real estate, because I met the girl of my dreams when I was younger, and I'm early 20s. I married this girl. Well, actually, before I marry her, I have a heart surgery and have to go bankrupt, because I don't know if you know this, but if you don't have any money and you're 20 years old and you get hit with a $350,000 bill for heart
Medical bill.
surgery, you can't pay that, right? So
Right.
I tried to work out payment plan, and I think out of grace, they're like, no, we're not going to take a payment plan. You're going to be paying this for the rest of your life, just bankrupt. And it made me mad because I never missed a payment. I was good with my credit and everything else. So I had to start over with bankruptcy. My sweet girlfriend borrowed me $1,400 to file bankruptcy. What a winner, right? Like, this guy has no college education.
Right.
He's
Of
lost
course,
like
you
50
don't even have the
pounds,
money to file bankruptcy.
almost died, and he's bankrupt. So like, well, if I'm bankrupt, I might as well be self-employed. Like, I'm already, I've started, and most people go self-employed, then bankrupt. I'm like, I'm already bankrupt. So let's give this self-employed thing a try. And I had no formal education, no real mentors or anything like that. So my friend Sean Cottle told me you should become a loan officer because they could make $100,000 a year. And here's how. And back in 2000, early 2000s, that's a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
$100,000 is different than what it is now. It's still a lot of money. Back then, it was huge money. And so he's explaining it to me. And I get into mortgages with a company called Casa Mortgage, and I spend a little bit of time there. But through acquaintances and friends, I found out another guy named Corey Baggs who owned Fidelity First Funding, and he had a better loan program. He was a more successful guy, and he was a millionaire. And I said, man, how do I become a millionaire? I really want to do that. And he said, you invest in real estate, you have a job that pays you, and you invest in gold and stocks. You buy real estate and you read a lot of books. Like, okay, so I'm gonna start doing that, right? I want to get into that. So I fell in love with the entrepreneurial side of things, but other than that first meeting and asking my broker a few questions, I made some big mistakes that we'll talk about later. But basically, as I was a loan officer, it was back when, remember the 80-20 loans, 80% first, 20% second. And I asked my broker a question. I'm like, why on, because these people weren't qualifying because that second mortgage was too high. It was like at the time the first mortgage was 7% and
Right.
the second was like 9%. I'm like, why is it so high? And Corey explained to me, well, it's the foreclosure rights. That first can foreclose and that second will get wiped off if it sells out of an auction. So
Right.
they have a higher risk tolerance, so they're going to have a higher rate. And he starts explaining it to me, and I go, and all money comes from an idea, right? So this idea comes to me. So if I go buy a house out of an auction, the second mortgage gets wiped off, so 20%, and maybe
Right.
they paid down the house. So that idea led to me researching that, and my friend Matt was doing this as well. So we start looking at trustee sales and how to get properties. Took me a couple years to get my first property, but I bought a house out of an auction, almost threw up when I bought it because I was so nervous, and ended up fixing it up, painting it, doing all the things, selling it, and making $30,000 in 60 days. And I
Right.
thought, hey, this is cool. This is super cool.
Right.
So I
I've
knew,
figured out what I want to do.
yeah, I want to
Want
make
to do
money.
more of that.
Yeah. So I want to do more of that. So I started getting into doing this. Well, I don't know if you remember 07 and
Oh,
08, but flipping houses during that time when the market shifted wasn't as fun. And the second house I was flipping, I remember to this day, we and my friends still joke about it. I was running late to the auction. I pulled up to this house in Layton and I said, looks pretty good. How bad can it be?
yeah.
How bad can it be?
Yeah.
You know, and there was a couple triggers
And the
like the
universe
garage.
said, hold my beer.
Yeah, 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 because the garage door was tilted up. And if you guys don't know this about real estate, when you show up, the garage door doesn't work, the house doesn't smell good. Like I can tell you right now, it's not good, you know. But I was like, I remember when it was listed a couple of years ago, it was great. We're fine. So I go to the auction. I wonder why no one's bidding on it. I buy it for opening bid, thinking I'm a stud. And I go back and I knock on the door. I bought this house and I remember I knock on the door and I'm like, I hear some yelling inside. And I'm like, okay. The door opens to a woman the size of the door, this very large Tongan lady who was upset that I was there. And then the husband, who was a lot larger than her, followed up with that and came up and was mad that I knocked the door and that I just bought this house and I was going to have to evict them. And there was 23 people living in this house.
Oh, man.
And it was as bad
Right.
as you can imagine. It was destroyed. I mean, the house was absolutely destroyed. Then the market turned,
Right.
and the stock market was dropping 1,000 points a day and all this stuff. And I was going to make like 50 grand after 9 weeks of 7-day weeks, 12-hour a day, working my guts off. I made 4,500 bucks and I just split it with my investor.
Right.
So school of hard knocks, right? And now we're looking at, okay, the economy's shifted, everything's changed. But I missed the part that I decided to get my real estate license because I wanted to represent myself on the sale of these homes, right?
Right.
So in that market shift, I made the mistake of never getting a mentor, never asking. I mean, I asked my broker a few questions, but I thought I knew it all. Turns out I actually know more now than when I did when I was 20. Isn't that weird?
Sure. Isn't that
You know,
amazing?
but I said, no, I don't want to learn from anybody else. I'm just going to school of hard knocks this for like the next decade and just work my guts out and make tons of mistake. And if you think a commission split or a team split is expensive, try trial and error, try messing
Ignorance,
things
right.
up, and not good. So I ended up becoming a firefighter because my friend said, why don't you become a firefighter? You can work 10 days a month and you can still do all this real estate stuff on the side. And you got health benefits. With my heart surgery, that sounded pretty beneficial to
Right.
me. And then you get a pension and you get all this stuff. But my fear was, everyone's been telling me no my whole life. There's no way anyone's going to tell me yes in a you know, being a firefighter, they're super fit and all this other stuff. So I called one of the fire chiefs I knew, and he said, "Hey, if you can pass our physical, I'd hire you." And that led me down a road of becoming a firefighter and then doing real estate on the side. And for the next decade, I basically worked minimum of 65 hours a week, maximum of 100 hours a week, just ridiculous
Right.
amounts of work to get to where I am today. And then I left the fire service in 2019 to just be full real estate.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So you left that in 2019.
Yeah, I did 44 transactions in 2019 by myself, being a full-time firefighter.
Wow.
Yeah. Talk about work too much.
Right. It's like, imagine if you knew what you were doing, you know?
Yeah, imagine if I would have maybe spent some time learning from somebody else what to do, you know?
Right.
In fact,
You mentioned that you made a mistake of not having a mentor.
Yeah.
You know, and I know, you know, you're heavily into coaching and mentoring. Excuse me. How many coaches do you have right now?
Oh man. So I've got, I would say 3 coaches now.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know, you want a mindset coach, you want a business coach, and then I'm getting into holotropic breath work. So I've got a coach on that with breath work as well. So, and sometimes they're not even formal coaches that you pay, you know, they're people
Right.
that you network with. So if we wanted to include the people that help me out in my life, that number would be hard to come up with.
Right.
There's a lot of people that I can call and ask questions to. And
True.
the older I get, the more I realize I don't know. So I ask a lot of questions and fill out from people. I'm always trying to be the dumbest, poorest person in the room. That's what I want to be. Is I
Right.
want to be around the people that almost intimidate me, or I'm like, these people are doing things I would never dream of. But it's amazing. Those are the ones that want to help you. Those are the ones that want to see you succeed and answer
Right.
your questions.
Yeah. Close that email down. It dings loud. And
Yeah, sure.
I got to learn how to turn that one off. The company uses Outlook, you know, and I'm like,
Oh yeah.
you know, but anyway, so you went full time. So
Yep.
what before you went full time, I mean, you know, if you did 44 deals, I mean, so obviously you worked your way up to that.
Oh yeah. What I found out was how the power of relationships.
Right.
It's like, yeah, my first year I did 7 or 8 deals, and then I went to like 10 or 12 and 13 and 14. It slowly grew over the decade, you know. And what really helped me blow up my business was some leadership training when they wanted me to be an officer in the fire department, and just learning how important communication skills are.
Sure.
I read the book. Well, I mean, I was always reading books, but have you ever read the book Extreme Ownership?
I don't think so.
It's a really good one by Jocko Willink. He's a Navy SEAL, and he talks about the things they use in the SEALs that also pertain to leadership. And it really comes down to you. Like if your life's not in the position you want right now, I can tell you who this problem it is. It's yours. Go look in the mirror. That you can go
Right.
chew that person out. That it's not your boss.
Right.
It's
It's not the
not
market.
the other agent. It's not the market. It's you, because you're the only person you can control. You can sit around and complain all day long about their rates and the deal and this and that, or you can go out and make money, you know, and I can talk about that here in a minute, just for me in the last month, if you want, because
Right.
I had to do that. You know, you have to have these resets where you're like, I'm not doing my highest paid activity. I got to get back to that and get
Right.
it done. But becoming an officer, and which I never officially did. I ended up leaving before I got promoted as officer. I was a training officer for a while, but before I got the actual promotion, I left. But going through that helped me quite a bit. And what I found out was if you take care of clients and give them a great experience, they're your biggest advocate. They will go get you 10 other clients. They're the ones
Right.
that are actually marketing for you that you don't know. They're around having coffee with their friends, talking about how great you did. And they hear someone's going to buy a house. Oh my gosh, you got to use this guy. And in the fire service, you learn that your name is going to spread one way or the other. If you're lazy, everyone in the industry is going to know you are. And if you're a hard worker, someone who has integrity, everyone in the service is going to know you are. So what happened is when I treated my clients really well and did a good job for them, my name spread like crazy. And most of my SOI is fire, military, police. And it makes sense why, obviously.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's kind of a kindred spirit group of people.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a brotherhood,
Right.
they take care of each other and they share each other's names. And so I did have an advantage in that over the average agent, I would say. I had a tribe, I had a group that the marketing was built in when you're sitting around having coffee at the firehouse, And so I tell agents all the time where they're struggling. Well, first I ask how many calls they've made today, who have they talked to today, because anyone who answers the phone and says hello, that's a lead.
Right.
Like I don't care. I've got leads in an elevator at Smith's, doesn't matter. If you talk to me, I assume you're my client, and you know what I mean. Anybody who talks to me is a lead.
I sold houses to wrong numbers.
Yeah,
Somebody
yeah,
said it was a wrong number. I started talking real estate. Next thing you know, I got a lead. Next thing you know, I got a deal.
yeah. That's what I mean. That's the it factor you need to have. But I tell them, who are you around? Are you just sitting in your office thinking about stuff? Because here's the thing: I believe in affirmations. I believe in manifestation. But manifestation and affirmations only work if you work. It's that
Correct.
simple. You can sit around and wish all you want. Nothing's
Yeah, there's
happening
no,
until you
you
get to work.
can't sit on a hill with your finger in your belly button.
No, because think about it. Those affirmations and everything you're doing are to get you in the right mindset to make good
Period.
decisions. That's
That's
all
it.
it is. Because the decisions you make are based off of how you feel. And so you got to make yourself primed and
Right.
feel ready to get out there and get it done. And then you're going to make better decisions talking to clients, talking to potential clients, other agents, everything else.
Right.
I mean, mindset is number one. It's massive. But when people think it's just mindset and not actual work, you're going to find another job.
Right. Quickly. Or
Yeah,
hopefully.
very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, no, mindset is huge. Because I've always said it, what's the difference between, 50,000 a year and $500,000 a year? And the word is execution.
Yep.
You know,
Execution. Yep.
because if you're the type that suffers from paralysis by analysis, the guy that knows a fraction of what you know, but simply does it day in and day out, it's going to out earn you all the time.
Every single time.
Yeah.
I'll say anybody on my team, if they're like, I'm struggling with deals, I'll be like, hey, let's look at how many calls you made today. Let's look at your actions today.
Right.
That's what I care about. And I have a 4-point system that I teach where, I'm competitive and I like to win stuff. You give me a challenge, we're playing poker. It's not fun until we bet $1. Now,
Right.
okay, I'm going to win that stupid dollar. I don't need the dollar. I'll give it back to you, but I want to win the dollar, right? I'm competitive.
Right.
So I know how to hack myself. And I'm like, for me to win the day every day, I call it 4 points. I actually have 6 points that I do. I have to get 6 points every day, and 2 are personal. I want to go to the gym and I want to spend time with my family. But the other 4 points there's many different ways you can get a point, right? But one of the point to get 4 points right up front and you can quit for the day is if you get a deal under contract. You sign a buyer, you sign a seller, you sign a contract, you can be done for the day. Go enjoy, go do whatever you want. Because imagine if you signed a contract every day, how much money would you make? Ridiculous amounts of money, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you did not sign a contract today, guess what you got to do? Some prospecting.
Oh, yeah, you got to talk to somebody.
You got to talk to some people, right? So there's all these different things, how many people are you going to reach out to? Are you going to do, there's a lot of different strategies. How many conversations are you going to start online, social media posts, all this. So I go through that, but what I tell people is if you're not doing that, you can't stop until you get those 4 points, because that's going to, and it doesn't matter how you're transacting the deal, because people say, well, I can't get my points today because I was showing houses and I was, writing addendums and I was doing this. No, you still have to get your points. Otherwise, you're going to do what every agent does is they get a couple deals and they only transact for the next 2 months. They get those deals done and they go to closing. Like, I made $25,000. Well, guess what? You're this much closer to bankruptcy.
Right.
Now you've got nothing in the pipeline and you've got to go out and hunt. Have you ever felt that? I don't know about you, but I felt that way where I finally get done. It's been kind of a tough deal. I got the industry, there's a little bit of anxiety. You're like, I got no more money coming.
Right.
How else am I going to have money? So what really took me from like 8 or 10 deals a year to 50 deals a year is consistent lead generation.
Right.
Just like no matter what, I don't care how busy today was. I left 10 voice notes for people, past clients. I did a social media post. I wrote a couple thank you cards. I sent that out. I hit my like bare minimum basics of doing some lead generation today.
So how do you get the points? Tell me about the points.
So there's a lot of different ways. One is call 10
clients
and
10.
have a quality conversation. You could also do 10 voice notes because sometimes you don't have time. So I'm long-winded. I'll talk to people for way too long. So sometimes
So
I just
10 voice note, mean voice
yeah,
notes?
10 voice notes. Yep. You can get a point by doing a social media post about real estate because I call that one to many. You're going to reach out to everyone, right? You
So,
can
but you
write
can only get 1 point a day on that.
only 1 point a
Not
day.
like
Yeah,
you
you
can
can't
do 10 posts and get 10
yeah, you
points.
can't 10 points. Yeah, exactly. Right. Now you could call 40 people and get 4 points.
Right.
But the social media post, it's just 1 point, right? You could door knock 10 people. You could do 2 pop-bys. You could drop by a client's house and drop off a couple gifts. If you wanted to just drop by 8 clients' houses and drop a little gift off, there's your points for the day. There you go. There's any kind of quality conversation. So what I'll do is I'll pay my assistant to scour social media and find pictures, of my clients. Maybe their kid just won a prize or this or that or a tournament, and we'll build a send out card for that person. And I pay that's $100 a month for send out cards. I'll build this send out card that's like, congratulations, Tommy. Da, da, da. And if you think giving your client a gift is cool, give their kid a gift. Totally different. They'll love that. So send a $5 Maverick card with a congratulations on your first place win, whatever. You send that out, like that counts as a point, right? So you could, that's very touching and people love that. So if you visit clients, that's points. If you interact with them on social media, that's points. Calling 10 people are points. Door knocking, 10 points. Cold calling, 10 people is a point. So you can see how it could add up pretty easy.
Right.
You could get it done in an hour or two.
Right. It's
pretty
not hard.
easily. It's not like I'm asking you to run a marathon every day. It's not that hard, but it's just that top of mind, staying in contact with people and adding value. There's a mantra that I say every single day. I deserve to be rich because I add value to other people's lives. The more value I add, the richer I'll be. So if you're not making enough money right now, go add value to someone. Go volunteer someone. Go help with them laying sod. Go do something for someone, and you're gonna get deals out of it. People, it's the law of reciprocity, right? You open the door for somebody, what do? They open the next door for you, right?
Yeah.
And that, for me, that's my whole. I can tell you even my marketing plan, what I do. Is that what you want? Would you like me to talk about that?
Yeah.
Like basically,
Yeah, give us the ones you do. I mean,
kind of like a 10,000 foot view. Yeah. So I host 4 client appreciation parties every year, right? About every quarter we have a party.
Okay.
That gives me a reason to reach out and invite them.
Right.
Give me a reason to follow up, see how they like the party or why they didn't show up, just check on them, right? Then I do a monthly giveaway on my private Facebook. I built a private Facebook page for all my clients to go to. I don't talk about real estate at all. That's just fun and giveaways, right? So I'll do a little giveaway. Like I just did a Father's Day giveaway. I gave a cooler, a couple chairs.
So you have a private Facebook group for you and your clients.
Just my clients. Yep.
And then no real estate.
No real estate agents, just me and my clients. And I'll post on my social page or on my public page, hey, I'm doing a free giveaway on my private Facebook page. If you're not a part of it, let me know if you want to be a client. And when the clients go in there, they're part of this exclusive group where I do giveaways. So I'll do giveaways and then I do the parties. And that gives me lots of reasons to reach out to people. Because if you're going to call your clients, if you're going to call 10 a day and let's say you have 100 clients, well, every 10 days you're recalling people. Right. It's going to take.
Have a good reason to call.
You better have a damn good reason to call, right? So I would say if you only have 100 clients, we need to build that to 300 or 400 clients. So it takes about once a month you're reaching out and talking to them, and that will do wonders. Now there's all sorts of strategies on what you call about, which I can talk about. Like for example, if I'm going to call a client about real estate, I bring up real estate first. Don't do the thing where it's like, hey Rob, how are you? Let me talk for 10 minutes and go. By the way, I'm asking for a referral. They feel sold. They feel like everything you just said was a joke. Like, why'd you say that? But if I call you and I'm like, hey Rob, I'm calling about real estate. Can I talk to you real quick? You go, yeah. And you go, hey, the market shifted a little bit. I'm helping clients find off-market properties right now where they can get seller financing. Do you know anybody that would work for? I'm asking for a referral, right? But I'm adding value by saying, here's the strategy I'm doing. Do you know if it'll be a good fit for anyone? No, blah, blah. Okay. So how was your wife and kids? And by the way, while I'm doing this, I pull up Facebook. I pull up Instagram. I stalk them for a minute and I like their stuff because that changes the algorithm. So they're always in my feed. So I'll like some of their pictures. I'll make some comments and I know what's going on in their life if it's updated, right? The people that aren't on social media, I don't worry about it. I track them with notes in my CRM. So I know what we talked about last, but if I haven't talked to you for a minute, I jump on your social media, most everything's on there. I realize it was their daughter's birthday or this or that. They just went to Hawaii, gives me something to talk about.
Right.
I hit them with the real estate thing first, or invite them to the client appreciation party, or tell them I'm doing a drawing this week for something. I give them that first, then we talk about their life. And if you just do that, it's game changer. Everybody who actually, it's all the action. Everybody who actually does it gets too busy with deals. And then they have too many deals, so they stop doing it because now they're going to make all this money and they think people are just going to call them. The trick is always doing it. Always make it. Because I say whatever you do today pays you in 3 to 6 months.
ABC, so, always be calling.
Always be calling. 3 to 6 months, man. If you want money from 3 to 6 months today, make phone calls.
Right.
Talk to people. Drop by and do a pop by. That's the pop bys are anyone who's familiar with Brian Buffini.
Right.
They're just fun little gifts, right? Just and you can do
anything. Refrigerator magnet, doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It could be a keychain, it could be a Coca-Cola, cheers to being a great client, whatever. Does not matter. It gives you a reason to actually see them. Hey, stop by your house today. Drop off the little thing. And if they're not there, I just leave it on the front porch, take a picture of it, text it to them. Just drop this off. Hope no one steals it. Have a great day. Ha ha ha. Right? Like It's not that big of a deal. And you're out driving around. If you're out driving around anyways, what I like to do is if I'm in a pop by, you could also door knock, right? So you could drop it off at your client's house, then just go knock 4 or 5 doors and just say,
hey, 5 doors on either side, you know?
Yeah. And I don't even ask for business. What you do is you go knock on the door with a couple, you take your cards, and if they answer, just say, hey, I'm Lewis. I'm in the area. I have some clients right around the corner and I just haven't met you yet. So I'm just making friends. Wanted to introduce myself, hand them my card and say, if you have any questions about the market, just give me a call. That's it. Like, I'm not asking for business. I'm not trying to say, do you want to sell your house? I'm just literally making an introduction. Here's my card. Hope you have a great day. And then I move on. Right?
Actions begat actions, you know?
That's what it is. And no one wants to be sold. You ever open the door and you're like, here's 20 minutes of my life that I want to take back. Like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have opened the door. But when someone automatically is ready to go and just like, hey, you're giving them a 30-second little thing. If you have any questions about the market, let me know. I was just dropping some gifts off at the Humphreys. Okay. All right. And then you move on. Maybe they call you, maybe they don't, but it takes 20 minutes to drop some stuff off and you've got all your points for the day.
Right. Well, and then, yeah, I'm a firm believer that, you know, it's kind of like, you know, prospecting of some sort or other is like beating on the universe's door.
Yes.
And you got to beat on it long and hard before the universe will open it. But once, you know, and it's interesting, you know, you could do the cold door knocking, you know, but then you'll get a call from somewhere else.
Yep.
You know, it's like, don't try and attach each deal to an exact source. It's like, just keep doing it. I mean, it's just keep doing numbers, but you know, I'm a firm believer that once you convince, see, if you just dabble at it, the universe is not convinced that
you're going to dabble back and go, it's not going to do anything. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Once you convince the universe that you're it, this is it, you're serious, you're not going away. The universe says, all right, well, then we'll just have to reciprocate.
Yep. 100%. And I've had people ask me, so why do you do it there? Why do you do that? And I said, well, do you know your neighbors? Do you know your neighbors? They go, yeah. And I go, okay, let's say I came to your house. Then I said, hey, I just stopped by the Weavers. They're clients of mine and I just haven't met you yet. So I want to introduce myself. I help them buy their house. Here's my card. If you have any questions ever about the market, let me know and I'd be happy to help you. Okay, cool. What are they going to do? They're going to call Mr. Weaver and they're going to say, hey, your realtor guy just came by. Do you know Lewis? Oh yeah, he's freaking awesome. He's the best. Oh my God. There you go. Now you have them talking about
third-party edification.
They have third party. Yep. And there's no better sell than third party. People, your clients are golden gooses that will pay if you treat them right. I can tell you all day long, use me, I'm the best. And you're like, okay, that's what every salesman says. But if you ask me, hey, do you know a sheetrock guy? And I'm like, first of all, do I know a sheetrock? Yeah, he's bad A. He's awesome. He'll take care of you. It's the best sheetrock guy I've ever dealt with. You got to call this guy. Tell him you know me. You're not even going to call anybody else. You're like, yeah, that's my sheetrock guy. That's who I'm using. so-and-so loves them. They have no reason to tell me why. I mean, they have no reason at all to say why they love them, and they freaking love them. So I'm using them. So most of my listing presentations, I don't even have to do.
Right.
I literally get a phone call. I had one 2 days ago. Hey, Lewis, so-and-so says you're awesome. Could you list my house this week? Yeah.
Right.
Could you come by and take a look at it? We just need a little bit of help on what we should do to it, and then we just got to get it listed by next week. You bet. I'll swing over. Was there any of me showing up and, hey, nice to meet you, and let's walk, all this stuff? No. They're already using me. I don't take advantage of that. I treat them fantastic. I give them white glove treatment. I'm so thankful for their business, because my thing is, it's not even about this transaction. It's about them having such a great experience that they refer all
They
their
will let
friends.
their friends use anybody but you.
Yeah, it's not my sphere of influence. It's all my sphere of influence's sphere of influence.
Right. So leverage.
And
That's the key.
they'll fight for you. I've had clients be like, oh, hell no. You're using Lewis. Like, that's what you're doing. Like, he is the best. You have to use him. I would never speak that way.
Right.
But they can say whatever they want, right? They'll almost get pissed off at their friends for not using me, right? So that's the goal. That's what you want, is for people to be advocates like that, turning your clients into raving fans. So I've never been in the business of transactions only and just turn and burn and make as much money as you can off them and go to the next one and just grind. And if you want to do that, there's agents that do that, and that's fine. Guess what? 10 years from now, you're still going to be grinding.
Right.
You're still going to be hustling. But in my way of doing business, you get to critical mass where you have 300-400 clients who refer you 50 deals a year, and they just coming in. Your phone keeps ringing. It's just a machine that you've built that has so much momentum that you can enjoy your life, and they want to wait for you. If you're on vacation, they're okay to wait till you get back. And then we can start talking about leverage and scale and building your own team and hiring a full-time assistant and all that. And absolutely, that's where most people, they'll get to a couple $100,000 a year, and that's the sticky point. They're really, really busy, like overwhelmed busy, but they're afraid of going backwards. They don't want to go back to that 9 to 5 for sure. But now they're working 5 to 9, 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. You know what I mean? Now they're working way more hours, but they're making good money, and they don't want to go back. And they've really connected with their clients, and they've got this amazing business. But how? And I was stuck in this, Rob. I was stuck in this for a while. How do I get to that
next level?
Next level. And what it is great people around you. Hiring someone who's better at what you do, or they have a better attribute for it. Maybe they are not better at you at first, but they can do it 80% good.
Right.
And then, but you start going to, what is my highest paid activity? For me, it's conversations.
Right.
It's phone calls. It's face-to-face. It's talking to people. Anybody can put a sign in their yard for me.
Right. Lockbox. That's monkey work.
Yeah. I can have someone, in fact, input everything to the MLS and get ready for me to review. I can have somebody draft a contract. Clearly, I'm going to go through the contract. That's my fiduciary duty. Right. But I can have another agent get it ready to go, drafted, ready. I tell them what to do. They get it already. I go through it. I verify. I can have somebody else send out for signatures. And how about this? No one thinks about this. Maybe someone else could mow my lawn.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe someone else could get my groceries. Maybe someone, what are the things that don't serve you that take up a lot of your time? And people, they might spend 4 hours on a Saturday mowing their lawn, and they could have made $10,000 in that time. And you'll pay for someone to mow your lawn all year by a long ways, So
I'm not one of those guys that gets an enjoyment of working in a yard. It's like, I'd rather lay on the couch with a remote.
Exactly. There's a lot of people who are like, well, I do that because I enjoy it. I'm like, okay, I can understand that. And I'm not arguing with that, but would you enjoy? I don't enjoy it. And you enjoy it for that long? I enjoy going to the gym. I really love that. So I would rather go to the gym all week and spend that 4 hours, 5 hours going to the gym rather than picking weeds in my yard and mowing the lawn. Right. I'd rather pay somebody to do that. Or now I have a son that does it. So that's even better.
Right. I think what they enjoy is saving money.
That's exactly what it is. They're like, I don't want to pay $40 a week. And I'm like, yeah, you make $25,000 on a commission. That's
right.
What are we doing?
$10,000 commission. A lot of $40.
Yeah. I mean, that's where my career really changed, was no matter what, I get my phone calls, no matter what, I do my lead generation, because that's what pays me. Closings don't pay you. That's a byproduct of the work you did 3 months ago to get the client. signing contracts, all these things, that does pay you signing a contract, but everything following up, the due diligence, all that stuff, does it pay you any money? No. That's just what you have to do. That's
Right.
not actually what gets you the paycheck. The paycheck is the conversation you have that built trust with that client who said, I want to use this guy. I want to refer this guy. That's where your highest paid activity is.
I think was it Brian? I think it was Brian Buffini. What did he say? Customer service is your job. Lead generation is your business.
There you go. Yep. 100%. Yeah.
You know?
It's all about the lead generation.
Yeah, because you could be, you know, look, you can be the greatest agent in the world. You can have you can have an appraiser's license, you know, a master's degree in real
Quote the
estate.
rep C, anything.
Right. Have a, you know, CPA license, all that. But if you don't have any leads, well, you suck.
Yeah, you suck. I'm telling you, I'm not the best real estate agent. I can't quote what is on what page of the rep C or Utah legal law. I'm not the best real estate agent
Right.
by far, but I'm great with people.
Right.
I'm great with having people trust me. I can meet anyone. And it's so funny. I have to be careful sometimes. Like I'll meet someone and pretty soon they want to fire their real estate agent and work with me. And I respect other real estate agents a lot.
Right.
I'm like, no, they're great. Stay with your agent. That's not my thing. I don't want to there's plenty of business for everybody. I believe in abundance,
Right.
but you know, after that transaction is done, they're probably going to come to me. Right.
Right.
But I just will never do that. I'm not trying to take business from anybody else. That's not what I do. But people ask questions. And then since I've flipped houses for a long time, I've been a broker and ran my own company for a while. I've, been a top producer. They have a lot of questions for me. And
Right.
I'm part of a land development deal right now. I've done some different things that makes it, I can speak on a lot of subjects and at least not be a total idiot. And if you have your real estate license, you know more than your neighbor. You know more than your friend's dad who sold a house 5 years ago or whatever. You can have that confidence where you can speak about real estate. And what I've found is if you talk about it in a way that's not salesy, people are actually very interested. People want to know what the market is. They want to know what the current rates are. They want to know what their house is worth. They want to know, they're intrigued by flipping a house. Invite them to your place. Come check this one out. You want to see this house I'm flipping? It smells like Cappy. Come check it out. They come up and look at it and they're walking through like doing this.
Money.
Yeah, it smells like money, baby. I love the smell of Cappy. It smells like money. So I'll walk clients through my flips and be like, here's what we're going to do. And then it gets them thinking about their house. So if we had a granite, what about this? We could sell our house for more. Sure. We should sell and buy a rental. And I go, before you do that, you're sitting in your best investment right now. You've got a 3% interest rate, a low payment. If you want to start investing in real estate,
you bought it 5 years ago, 5 years price.
Exactly. I'm like, let's turn your house into a high paid rental and move to the next house. That's what we should do and start building your portfolio that way. But what I found is that's such a great conversation starter. And I think any agent out there, it behooves you to consider investing in real estate. Because if you invest in real estate and you either flip houses or own rentals, immediately you will take stock up in their mind. You get free rent in other people's minds because they're like, oh, that Lewis guy, he flips houses. I know he owns rentals. I know he's an investor. I know he's smart with money. I should talk to him. And the trust level goes up. You're a true professional, and nothing teaches you more about real estate than you putting your neck out on the line and fixing up a property. And even if you never buy a property, just going through the process of looking at wholesale deals, looking at short sales, going and looking at homes that are dilapidated and trying to figure out how much the ARV, the after repair value would be. It makes you understand with your clients what they need to do with their houses to get to worth more, right? So it's worthwhile. If you don't have much business right now, look at doing that.
Right. Yeah, at least look at houses.
Yeah, and guess what? You can go knock on doors of crappy houses and ask if they're willing to sell. You might get a listing out of it.
You never know.
You might be able to buy the house. They say on average, even if you don't know what you're doing, even if you suck, every 100 doors you knock, you'll get a listing or purchase a home. So you could break that out in a week and say, I'm gonna go knock on 20 doors. You could do it in a day, but you can go, I'm gonna pick an area in this subdivision and I'm gonna knock 20 doors a day for 5 days. And most likely, like you said, even if you do it wrong, but consistently, you're going to get better. You're going to learn rejection. You're going to learn this. You're going to get better and you're going to get deals. And it might be where you knock doors for a month and you don't get a deal. But on the second month, you get a deal. And the third month, you get 10 deals. Because you finally figured it out.
The accumulation effect.
Yes.
People that you talked to 3 months ago, may not be ready.
100%. I have two friends that started that way, and they're similar stories. Like for a month they got nothing, the second month they got one or two, and then both of them got over 10 the third month. And that's crazy because they just never gave up, but they just knock doors every day. And I'm not even a huge fan of knocking doors. The only time I do it is after I do a pop by and just swing by the neighbor's house.
Right. Yeah, I've said it, I always ask this question, if you got face to face with 20 sellers a month, would your business improve?
Obviously, yes.
Right. So that means you got to knock on one for sale by owner or expired door a day.
Yeah.
That's 20 face to face with sellers a month.
Yep. And your problems serve you. Remember that. Your problems serve you. If someone gets mad at you and rejects you, that's something to think about. How would I have done that different? What would I have done here? What would I have done there? As soon as you change your mindset to how is this problem serving me, you're going to change your entire life. Because if you want everything just to go great, cool. So all of us do.
Good for you.
Yeah, good for you. Whoop-de-doo. This isn't a Disney show. You know what I mean? Like, really, the people who are highly successful chase problems.
Right.
Like, okay, my business is going pretty good, but where can I improve it? Where are my downfalls? Where are my blind corners that I'm not seeing because of my ego or because I'm too busy or whatever? And they try and, it's the highest expense in your business is your ego.
Right.
If you can't talk to other people and learn from them and search out somebody better than you and trying to become better yourself, man, you're going to have a tough road. You really are. I'm doing that constantly. I had a guy call me last week who's a high producing agent in another state and offered for me to be his coach. He wanted to pay me money to be his coach. And I said, you do business different than I do, and I really want to learn what you're doing. Well, I don't want your money. I want your mindset. I want conversations with you. Why don't we collaborate together?
Right.
And you help me and I help you, and we both make a lot more money. How about that? He'd love that. Because I could have easily just said, yeah, it's 10 grand a year to pay me to coach you and blah, blah, blah. And he would have paid it. I see more of a value, and I'm not afraid to coach people.
If you can get 10 deals out of it, maybe you make 150 grand.
Yeah, why not? Right? Like, and then he's bought in. Yeah, I want to help you. I want to teach you. I want to speak at your mastermind. I want to do this. I want to do that. So I value relationships a lot, and I'm constantly trying to learn from other people. Last year, I did a lot of masterminds, probably too many, to be honest with you. I was like every couple months I was flying out of Utah and going somewhere and that's what actually led to my problem. I got so excited about masterminds and flying to Colorado and California and Texas and learning from all these great people. I have all the knowledge in the world, but I quit implementing my own skills of reaching out to my clients, right? Because my team's busy, they're doing stuff. I'm used to people just calling me. What I didn't realize was I got so into the coaches space, team leader space, that I got some feedback that some of my clients think I don't sell real estate anymore.
Right.
That I'm a public speaker. And I keep track of everything, right? So I looked at my key performance indicators, my basically KPIs, and said, my income's down 22%. What is going on this year? Because if you don't track your numbers, if you don't track your activities or your closings or your numbers, it's hard to gauge how good you're doing. Right now, it's just emotion and feeling. Like, what is going on? So I start reaching out to my clients, and come to find out they think I'm not doing real estate anymore. And instead of calling my team, they're going to call their cousin who's a realtor. They're going to call their other friend, because I've been beating out that other realtor for the last 10 years, but they feel like, well, if it's not Lewis, I'm going to go to my cousin.
Right.
And that started to happen. So I told you a few weeks ago, I'm going to just go back to my basics. No matter if I'm in Colorado, no matter if I'm in Texas, I'm going to make my 10 phone calls. I'm going to get my 4 points. And now I've got 6-7 deals in the pipeline in 2 weeks, just from getting back in it, just grinding and doing it. And you don't have to grind. Like, I almost hate the word grind, because people think it's a negative thing. I have fun talking to my clients, and I don't have to. It's not like going and swinging a hammer for 16 hours, that kind of grind. Like,
how about running into a burning building?
Yeah, it's not like being a firefighter, getting a call at 7-degree weather that you got to go out and, spray water and your hands are freezing and all this stuff. And you're like, that's grinding to me. If you think your job as a realtor is hard, I bet you should go lay concrete every weekend
Sitting
and
in
then
a
tell me.
controlled room,
Yeah,
on the phone.
yeah, it's not hard. I mean, if you can get over someone telling you to go to hell and hanging up on you, you can be a successful realtor.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
fine. Like it's totally, in fact, your goal should be to get so many no's per day. Like
Right.
I hope I get 50 no's today. That'd be great. Because
We used to play a game called Hang Up. And so
oh,
the way the
nice.
game worked, we would cold call, right?
Yeah.
And so, or whether it be first FISBO's expired, it didn't matter. So the game Hang Up worked like this. You were not allowed to hang up until they either set an appointment with you or they hung up. And so they could tell you like, dude, I would never list with you if you were the last real estate agent on earth. And you'd be like, well, that's exactly why we got to get together. And then we just get like,
Sure. That's awesome. Makes it fun though.
but we weren't allowed to hang up. They had to hang up.
Yeah. That's a
And no
great
matter
game.
what they said, you had to keep the conversation going.
Yep. We did this at one of the masterminds I went to. They did something similar to where you could never answer a question. You had to follow it up with another question.
Right.
So someone asked,
Common new question.
yeah, I love it. So we're just back and forth and we just never stop talking and no one's answering questions. We're just question. And you can go on for all day. I mean, it's crazy what you can do. So I thought that was
Well, I always teach you have to answer their question, but not with a period at the end of the sentence. So,
that's a better way to say it. Yeah, that's a better way to say it. Because you could answer, but you have to ask a question.
right.
No
Instead of period, because see, if someone asked you a question, like for example, how many bedrooms? 4. How many bathrooms? 2. So why not say, oh yeah, that's a new one. That's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. It's got a family room. It's got this, that, and that. List price on that's $569. Fence backyard. Nice shed. Blah blah blah. Does that sound like something that could work for you?
Yeah, there you go. When would you like to take a look at it?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about that?
Because if you say 4, 2, guess what? They're asking all the questions. Whoever's asking the questions is in charge.
100%. Yep. Whoever's asking the questions is in charge. And you can always take back control of the conversation just by asking questions.
Right. Just by not answering with a period at the end. But I call common new question.
Yeah, I love that. That's a fun one.
Common new question.
That's good stuff.
That's a technique, one of my scripting techniques that I've always taught,
Yeah. And you've been a big fan of coaching, right? You have several coaches. I
have a coach now. Yeah. So I have a business coach, a mortgage business coach. I have a nutritionist that I talk to, not on a weekly basis, but somebody that's there, that I've paid money to, I have a lot of coaches that were my friends that I can call anytime, like you just call up, you and I are friends. If I, like this, I called you up, would you do it? You're doing me a solid and you're like, yeah, I'm more than happy to do it for you, Rob, whatever.
Sure. Absolutely.
That's just our relationship.
Right. And it's amazing what you'll find when you get to the higher end agents, elite agents, high producing agents. You would think they're trying to keep all of their secrets, and there's some that do, but they're not at masterminds. They're not at groups trying to help each other. Because what I've found, the far majority is people will just tell you everything. Be like, sure. Not only will I tell you, I'll show you my presentation. I'll do it in front of you. I'll go to your next appointment with you.
Right.
I'll send you this stuff. Was that good? Did you like it? Let me get you on a podcast. Let me send you my videos that I'm learning. That you're like, oh my gosh, these people are so helpful. And the reason why is they believe in abundance. If anybody listening to this right now goes out and gets 10 deals this month and makes a bunch of money, it doesn't hurt me. I'm still going to get my deals. I'm still going to make money. I'm still going to take my family to Lake Powell. I'm going to have a great time. Why would I not want our group of people, realtors, to improve and do better?
Right.
I have no problem with that. I think it's fantastic.
My brothers in arms,
Yeah, exactly. I've been trying to, for the last few years, really incorporate what I learned in FIRE, which is brotherhood, teamwork, collaboration, into real estate. Because I tell everybody it's kind of a cheesy line, but you know why I wasn't scared to go on a crazy call like a house on fire or a plane crash or a full arrest where someone's dying on the street? Because there's 5 other people going with me.
Right.
I'm not the only brain showing up with the camera on me. There's a group of us, We're going to tackle this together regardless of what happens. We can call in the troops for more people. We can immediately dispatch other engines, the battalion chief, a district chief, a deputy chief. Like, we can just keep scaling this up to where we get the job done no matter what.
Right.
Why shouldn't real estate be the same thing? Why couldn't it be if you get into some kind of trouble, you reach out to somebody you know, and then you reach out to a broker, you reach out to a coach, a trainer. Da, da, da. How many times have I called you, Rob?
Right.
Hey, this is a weird situation, man. How would you handle this?
Right.
That's what we need more of in this industry, rather than I keep the secrets. You make no money, I make 99% of the money, and I'm the man. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, my business model is, I just give it away.
Yeah.
My brokerage was the same way. The real estate Facebook group, Utah agents, sometimes I don't put much time in it, but if you take the amount of time I put in it over a decade,
Oh, yeah, it's a lot.
How many people.
And the value, what's the value there?
Right.
There's a ton of the value is more than what the time you put in, because what it's created the culture.
Right. Yep. And that was, and I've always wanted, I've always done it that way.
Yeah.
Just give it away and things come back.
Yeah. It's like the field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and you said it, the producers, so I call, as a loan officer, I call on real estate agents, and I have a list that I call based on production.
Yeah.
And the higher producing agents are a lot friendlier to talk to.
Yep.
They're not offended by me cold calling. They'll be kind and just say, hey, look, I already have 3 lenders. Right now, I really not in the market for another lender. I appreciate you calling. We can actually have a decent little conversation. And they're saying no. It's the kind of lower producers that are like upset and hang up on you, believe it or not.
I have experienced the exact same thing. It's
Right.
funny how people are intimidated. I've heard people are intimidated to reach out to me. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm the nicest guy. I'll try and help anybody. If you can't get along with me, you're a jerk. Honestly,
You got issues.
Yeah, you got issues if you can't get along with me. I'm pretty open-minded. I talk to everybody. I'm good about it. And you could call me off the street and be like, hey, I've got your name off of this podcast, and I was just wondering if you could help me. And chances are I'm going to take time to help you. Like, I've done it multiple times. Like, yeah, tell me what you got going on. How's this? And then that person ends up being a friend or just somebody I collaborate. In fact, there was a guy that I did just one deal with, and had very limited knowledge of him, but he was great to work with. He invited me to a broker only night at this really nice listing. He's like, are you willing to come to this? I said, sure. And then he texted me a few days later and was like, you still coming? I'm like, yeah, can I bring anyone with me? He's like, absolutely. So I brought a whole entourage of people. Right. So we show up and helped make the party great, because there's just a bunch of us there and we had fun. And
yeah, everybody talking about real estate.
Yeah, we're just having a great time. We turned into a date night. We all went to dinner after. It was just a blast. It was just fun. And the guy's like, man, I'm so glad I invited you. And we did one deal together.
Right.
I just know, I kind of know him. And then I see him at the gym and I'm like, hey, how are you, man? I just build that relationship. And agents aren't your enemies, man. I always look at, if we're doing a deal together, of course I have fiduciary duty. Of course I'm going to protect my client. That goes.
Well, yeah, you protect yours, I'll protect mine. But yours wants to sell, mine wants to buy. So let's get it done.
Let's just get it done. Let's solve problems together. It's so funny how I've had a lot of agents over the years try and negotiate with me with a hammer, and honey works better. Right. If I call you and say, here's the problem I'm dealing with, here's what I'm going through, here's how I've got to solve it. Typically, the other agent will help you solve it, and you end up netting more for your client. But if I call up and I'm like, Rob, this is what you're going to do because you're blah, 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 blah. Pretty soon you're like, that ain't my problem. Right. I don't know what you're talking about. I've said no to people just because they pissed us off. Like, we were willing to do what they were asking for. We even had the conversation before they called. Look, if they ask for this much, we're going to do it. Then they call up and I'm like, no. How about that? How about no? And then we closed the deal and we did nothing. We did not back down 1 ounce, right? Like, because they just made us mad. And so a different approach, and I would have been over there helping them get the thing done. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
And I always find the guys that gnaw, I call them gnawers. Every time the phone rings, it's like another $1,200,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They just gnaw and they gnaw and they gnaw. And so what I've learned, though, in my life, my career, is that the gnawers, something always happens at the end of the transaction that they need your help. You know, and you're like, dude, I wouldn't give you the sweat on my butt if you were trying to thirst, you know?
Yep. What it is so true. And if you don't think people are saving you in their phone from what their memory is of you, I
Right.
have
Oh, yeah.
so many people in my phone that's like outstanding agent, fun agent, cool agent, knowledgeable agent. I
Right.
also have some people that beware.
Do not answer.
This do not answer. This guy is a lot. One guy called up my wife and screamed at her because my wife was my assistant at the time, and we didn't pick his offer, and he thought because he was on the radio a lot and pretty famous that we should just automatically accept his offer even if it's not the best offer. And I didn't get him I didn't give him, he gave us our highest and best, but he wanted me to personally call him back and make sure that they won and everything. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I don't even know you. I don't like you. And he was drunk and he called up my wife and screamed at her. I mean,
Oh,
so then I had
dang.
then I called him and we had a conversation, and we'll probably never do business together. Maybe
Right.
it'll happen in the future, but
And that's okay.
and
You
I
must
remember
deal with people like that.
that was like 8 or 10 years ago, and it's still
Right.
very vivid in my mind,
Right. Right. Right.
So you got to understand, you can stand your ground. Don't be a pushover. People will respect that, but just,
Right.
if you don't know how to do that, I would recommend a book, Exactly What to Say by Phil Jones Knight. It's incredible. It's like a 2 hour or an hour and a half read. It's an incredible book. I actually was lucky enough to be on a Zoom call with him for a few hours. I paid for a training, and I want to fly out to New York. I'll probably do it next year. I'll fly out to New York to become Exactly What to Say instructor, because it is incredible for anyone that's getting in the business. If you want to be able to lead a conversation and get your client to make a decision, that book is incredible. Or to bring up an idea to someone, to door knock, it's just, it makes it very simple. It breaks it down exactly what to say. And there's also Exactly What to Say to Sell, which is a good one for real estate as well.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So,
Good stuff. Good stuff, man.
well, hopefully it helps somebody.
Yeah. It helped me. I'm taking notes, you know.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's fantastic.
That's the cool thing. I mean, I hang around with people, you know, and the truth is, and you and I both know that the things that we teach people on a routine basis, none of it's like earth-shattering new.
Yeah, of course. The basics.
It's just the basic, it's the fundamentals.
Yeah.
What's the difference is doing it.
Yeah, it's doing it. And another book I'd recommend on that is The Comfort Crisis. Have you read that book?
No,
The Comfort Crisis, it has nothing to do with real estate
right. It doesn't
at
mean
all. Yeah, it doesn't, but it's mindset. And basically it talks about how as we evolve as a species and get smarter and make everything more comfortable, we're digressing quite a bit. It's hurting us a lot. It's really good to do hard things. It's really good to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. Anxiety's going through the roof. All these things are going through the roof as our life is getting easier. And you can instantly change your state by challenging yourself and doing some things that are harder. I just got done with it and I absolutely love it. It's the reason why I do ice plunges. It's the reason why I bought a sauna and I sit in the sauna until it's super uncomfortable. There's just some things I do because of this book that it just reminds me like, yep, I'm on the right path. The guy just yelled at me. I called that person, they're upset. Good. That's good. I mean, I got to know out of it. That's great. Well, how am I going to learn from that? What I say to my team all the time when we have a struggle is good. I had a team member 2 days ago, very frustrated. They've been working with this client for months. It's the third time they canceled on this transaction, blah, blah, blah. And I said, good. She's like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, good.
I don't see the humor in this one.
Good. I'm like, that's a good problem to have. She's like, how is that? I'm like, well, your kid doesn't have cancer. You're still healthy. We're on this conversation.
You got a deal on it.
You're going to learn how to overcome this obstacle. Tell me what about your clients? What about this? Okay. It sounds like they're emotionally charged. You're going to learn a skill here. I don't think they're ready to cancel. I think they're scared. I think they need a guide right now. They need someone as some common ground that's make sure that they get them out of this scary situation. You're their tour guide. You have an opportunity to add value now. So she called him back, de-escalated the situation, found out what the real problem is. She become a better agent,
Right.
better relationship with her client. Good.
Right.
Good. How does this serve you? Good. So
you mentioned earlier that, when you were in the fire department, you were going through the leadership training. And I've said this many, many times that, a skill that's not often, or it's not, I don't know anybody that really teaches it in the real estate realm is leadership, meaning,
I know. Yeah.
because, when you have a family, right, you got a husband and wife, 3 kids, dog, cat, and a turtle, and they live here and they want to live here, right?
Right.
So that requires leadership.
You got to lead them.
You got to
Yes.
sell the house. You got to get them to buy another one. You got to lead them through the process.
Yeah.
And, and it's not a simple task, because now you're a psychologist, a project manager, a salesperson, all that.
Marriage counselor. You're
Yeah,
everything. Yeah.
exactly. Bartender, right.
Babysitter.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're a coach, you're a supporter. They need to. I learned a lot. I tell everybody the fire service taught me how to be a good real estate agent because I was sometimes working with someone for 48 hours who I didn't like.
right.
And I had to learn I could either hate this person for the next 2 days and we could do
But be miserable 2 days.
and I could do a terrible job for the general public and everything else, or I can find common ground with this person that I don't like and we can get the task done, which is sometimes you have a real estate agent on the other end. You don't
Right.
like it, you got to get the task done. They are an ally for that situation. You got
Right.
to. So I learned how to do that. And then customer
A
service.
lot of phrase right there. They're an ally for the situation.
They're an ally for the situation. You got to remember there's your inner circle where
Right.
these are the people who are with you because of you.
Right.
If I quit today and became a turtle salesman, they would go with me.
Right.
They're like, no matter what you're going, I'm going with you. Like my wife is one of those. My kids is that. Alec Evans on my team. If I quit today and we decided to go sell some weird thing, he would come with me. I really believe. Then there's your next circle. Those are the people on your team. They're here because they believe in the mission. They believe
what?
the mission.
Oh, the mission. Right.
I want to work for LW Real Estate Team.
Right.
I want to come to Leaders Wanted Mastermind. I want whatever. As long as your mind is on the goal at hand, they're on your side. You have a similar goal, but it's closer than that. It's not just an ally. They want to be on your team and they believe in your vision. Right. But if I decide to go be a farmer, they're not coming with me.
Right, right.
Those people get a little bit less information than the inner circle. That makes sense?
Right, right.
The inner circle get everything that I can give to them. The next circle, they give everything to guide them on the mission.
Right.
The final circle is allies. Anybody who's in your life and they can just pop in and out. Okay, we're working a deal together. I don't freaking like you, but you're an ally, so I've got to share some information and we got to get this deal done together.
Right.
When you compartmentalize people in that way of like, this is just an ally, I'm just going to deal with them for the next 2 months, then they're out. It's okay.
Right.
You don't give them everything, but you do need to help them get
right. They're not coming over for dinner on Sunday.
Exactly. And too many people want to be like, you're either with me all the way or you're out, and
Right.
it's like, it can't be that way. It's either they're with you because they believe in your mission, or the job at hand, not the mission, not the big whole mission, but just this little victory, this one job we're doing together.
Yeah. And you hit on something that reminded me of something that, early on in my career, you would get in this relationship with, say, a buyer or a seller, didn't matter. Buyers tend more because you tend to spend a little more time with them, driving around and whatnot. But you actually became like, you got to know so much about them because of the amount of time you spent and because of the type of relationship. Like we're diving deep into their financial situation, why they're moving, what problems they have that's causing them to move. I mean, so sometimes we actually get involved. We know more about their stuff than some of their close friends do.
Absolutely.
So this relationship, because normally to know that kind of information about somebody, you'd have to be like friends for a really long time. But yet our situation is with these clients that time is accelerated so fast that you get into this relationship with them and then boom, it ends, Not saying you can't follow up with them, but it's just like it's weird for both of you.
Yeah.
I remember this, when I discovered, I'm like, what's going on here? I was kind of asking myself that. And I realized that, that's what it was. We're in these like deep relationships that end quickly.
Oh, 100%. I would say that is my superpower right there, because I take that relationship further. I go,
right.
hey man, I really loved hanging out with you. We're having a client appreciation party next
Yeah,
Thursday.
come on over.
I want to invite you to my private Facebook page because now I've become like, I feel like we're super good friends. Yeah, me too. I really love hanging out with you. So many clients have said, I miss hanging out with you. I'm like, well, let's grab coffee next week. Let's do that. I try and meet with a couple clients every week. I call them every day. I send them thank you cards or just thinking about you. Hope life's great. Here's a $10 Chick-fil-A card. You know what I mean?
Right,
Here's some free lunch on me. I wish them a happy birthday all the time, a happy anniversary.
right.
I find reasons to call people. I find reasons to have relationships and talk with people. Laurie Reed, my business partner at the mastermind, she's phenomenal at adding value. If she knows you're sick, you will have a whole package delivered at your house of like cards to get free meals delivered to you. You'll have
Right.
games and prizes and just fun stuff like to try and make your few days of being sick better.
Better,
You,
right.
you think she gets clients out of that? 100%. I mean,
Right.
she is your go-to girl for everything. So I've incorporated some of what she does in my business, and she's
Right.
vice versa. We're constantly helping. In fact, my office, I'm so lucky. I have 3 elite agents in this office, which there's 11,000 agents at Real and only like 150 of them hit elite. That's going to be changed this year because they've made this easier to hit elite. But
Right.
still, there's 3 in my office. How great is that? Like to walk out a door away and go, I got a problem.
Yeah, we're
What do you,
talking about not in your company office. We're talking about in
we're talking in my personal
share
office,
rent. Right.
the building in West Haven. Yeah,
Right. Right.
and now actually we've just brought on 2 others that they'll probably hit elite. So we might have 4 or 5 in my office, top performing agents, regardless of whether they hit elite, top 500, top 250.
Right.
You know how great that is to be able to have a conversation.
Well, the power of proximity, right?
Oh, power proximity. Even today, we call them strategy sessions. We do it once a month where just bring us your problems. And sometimes it's mine. I'm like, I'm struggling with this.
Right.
I'm having an issue. And then I go quiet and everyone gives me feedback, right? And I might get 10 different feedbacks and only one of them resonated.
Right. Right. Right.
And because each one's gonna be different for the level I'm at. Because what you're giving
Where you're at is what you hear.
is what I hear, but somebody else in the room who's having a similar problem, because
Right.
if you're having the problem, there's probably 4 or 5 other people in the room that are
Oh
having the same.
yeah.
So out of those
And
10,
you're not that unique.
yeah, no, out of those 10 feedbacks, they actually got something different. So we share, we're like, what was your biggest feedback or biggest takeaway? And people raise their hands. And I'm like, that wasn't even a takeaway for me. I didn't even care about that. But to them, it changed my life. You
Right.
said one thing that just changed my life. And a guy in our office, he doubled his income in 1 year because of one stupid thing I said years ago. Like a
Wow.
year ago, I said something about listing presentations and how I deal with my clients. He's like, bam. It was like my moment of what's that 80-20 loan? What does that do? And
Right.
it sparked something in him to reach out to his clients a different way and start doing a couple things. Boom, doubled his income. And
Yeah.
now, I mean, how cool is that? Just an idea, just a thought, just something that I call it. You're basically shrinking time rather than compressing. Sorry, I'm
Right.
compressing time rather than spending 10 years. Because
Figure it out.
what's the rule? 10,000 hours before you become a master.
Yeah. 10,000 hours. Right.
Well, that changes if you have a master teach you from the start, right? Like
Right.
if you don't have to spend the 10,000 hours that they're learning, and they're like, look, I've spent 10,000 hours doing this. Here's how I would handle that
Right.
situation. How much smarter did you just get in 5 minutes? Way smarter. And that's my advice to people.
Well, if you do that for 10,000 hours,
Why do you think we're standing on the shoulders of giants in
yeah.
technology? I mean, how did we go from 100 years ago, 200 years ago, just learning how to farm different to flying on a plane with Wi-Fi, connecting to China, doing this, doing
You know,
that,
flying in a plane,
crypto,
30,000 feet, 600
right,
miles an hour, holding your phone up, having a video conversation with somebody else on the other side of the planet.
about cryptocurrency. I mean, I can't even wrap my brain around cryptocurrency. I don't even know what we're talking about. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane to me. That's the compounding effect, right? Getting
Right.
1% better every day. And AI, look at AI. Now AI is starting to take all of our knowledge globally and starting to do this crazy stuff. Well, that's how I look at masterminds. That's how I look at who you should be aligning yourself. Because if you're new, remember this. If you want to hang out with 5 average agents, you're going to be the 6th.
Right.
If you want to hang out with 5 billionaires, you're going to be the 6th. 5 millionaires, you're going to be the 6th. 5 drug addicts, you're going to be the 6th. So pick who you're hanging out with. My shirt literally says
Experience
experience the
the
power of proximity, right? Like who you're around makes all the difference. Like
Right.
I don't have to be good at anything. I just have to know someone who's good at it
Right.
and be around them and pay them to help me on my, like a land. I used to be terrified of land development deals.
Right.
My friend's like, "Yeah, I inherited 8 acres." I'm like, "We can develop it for you." I called my friend who does land development. "Do you want to do this deal with me?" "You bet." I'm just flying down, or I'm driving down there. We're getting drones up. We're going to the city. We're meeting with them. We're turning his $1 million asset into $3 million within 6 months of his grandpa passing away, so he can inherit $2 million more and not pay any taxes on it.
Right.
Did we add value to him? 100%. What if I just said no to that scenario?
Right.
I don't have to be good at land development.
No, you just have
You
to.
need to know somebody who's good at
No.
it.
So I was at a conference back in, when was it? It was in March. So he's telling the story of Vince Lombardi, they'd
Yeah.
lost the championship game. So the next season they're in a preseason training, and Vince Lombardi walks in, they all got their playbook. They're all thinking, well, he's just going to teach us that one more play that's going to take us to the next
It's
level.
gonna,
Right?
that's what it is. It's that one piece of content. Yeah.
Right. And he walks in and he goes, gentlemen, this is a football. He holds up a football. Let's start at page 1,
Yeah.
back to the basics.
You're right. 100%.
And then he went on to win like umpteen championships in like the next 8 years. So the guy at the conference, so he tells that story. And then, of course, says, it wasn't just all men in the audience. He says, ladies and gentlemen, this is a phone.
This is a phone. Let me
Right.
tell you, it's
Back
like
to
me.
the basics.
Yeah. It's like saying if somebody says hello, that's a lead,
Right.
and I just thought it was funny with me running out of business. Oh, I know what to do. Like, what are you gonna do? I'm like, call people. Like literally, I know I just spent $40,000 on Mastermind, did all this crazy stuff over the last few years. But what I'm gonna do is make some phone calls.
Right.
I'm gonna touch base. I'm gonna ask some questions. I'm gonna see if, get some feedback from my clients. Oh, next thing you know, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? We're looking to buy and sell. Oh, we're looking to buy and sell. My brother's looking to buy and sell. Boom, 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 boom. And then, like you said, one just came to me out of the blue, but I'm sure it's related. I don't worry about whether it's related or how it's related. I put in the action. I
And
got
the universe responds.
Yep, that's how it goes.
Yeah, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
we're running short on time here.
Oh, okay. No
We-
problem.
Over what we normally do. So, but
Yeah,
that's
sure.
okay.
It's like a
Having
normal
lot of fun.
conversation for you and me.
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of what this is. You and I just chatting.
Yeah, that's all it is. Yep.
Having fun. So anyway, well, listen. So if somebody ever wanted to call you and talk to you, I mean, what would they? What would they do? Just call you?
Yeah, just call me. Want me to give you my number?
Yeah, go for it.
So it's 801-668-1737.
Okay.
Or if they want to look me up on Facebook or Instagram, it's just Lewis Weaver.
Right.
I think it's W Weaver, it's just my name.
Right.
They could go to my website, lwrealestate.com, message me there.
Right.
Any one of those, just message me, DM me, text me.
Right.
Yeah.
Smoke signals, text, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Send a carrier pigeon. I don't care.
Right.
Whatever you want, I'll be happy to help you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's awesome. So there you have it. I think this was a great episode, if not one of our best episodes, for sure. So, but thanks for coming, Lewis, and thanks for joining us, folks. My name's Rob Aubrey. This podcast is Productive Agent Podcast, and it's powered by Aubrey Home Loans. So if you have any questions on loans or anything like that, just give me a call. You know how to get a hold of me. So anyway, if you look me up, you'll find me. There's another guy there's another Rob Aubrey. He's a music producer in London. I'm not him. So I'm the other guy. So just give me a holler. Cool.
Awesome. Well, that sounds
recording.